If the Gita is there, focus only on Gita. All else is just stories. Gita is not a story. Gita is a philosophical document of the highest order. It is not storytelling.
What is the most fundamental step in like the liberation of the self? Is it a very gradual process, or is it like switching a light on and off? And is it something that needs to be maintained once you kind of...
Is liberation of the self a gradual process, or is it instantaneous, like switching on a light? It is neither. Liberation is just another name for the self. The self by nature is liberated. Hence there can be no liberation of the self. One is already and always liberated. Liberation is what you really are. Even in the moment of your deepest apparent bondage, you are liberated. Even when you believe yourself to be in all kinds of chains, you are still liberated. Bondage is just the thought of bondage. And pay attention, bondage is equally the thought of liberation. Slaves are those who believe they are slaves, and slaves are those who believe they are free. The beliefs themselves are the bondage. It doesn't matter what you believe or what you believe in. The fact that you take yourself to be a belief is bondage. I repeat this, if you think that you are in bondage, then you are surely in bondage. And if you think that you are free, you are in deeper bondage. Whatever you will think about yourself is the bondage. Liberation is the great silence that you are. Liberation is the great peace that always remains even if you act in noisy, chaotic and violent ways. Bondage and suffering are the name of the same thing. You suffer in slavery precisely because you are free. So slavery is artificial and false. You dislike chains precisely because freedom is your nature. So no chains can ever be attractive to you. And even in the middle of, as we said, thousands of such chains, your heart is always free. Had it not been free, then it would have glorified those chains. And we do glorify those chains and yet do not find peace. This lack of peace, this very restlessness that appears as these questions, is the proof of who you are. The one who must know because knowing is his nature. The one who must talk of slavery because freedom is her nature. The one who detests incompletion so much because completeness is her nature. If you observe your daily life, you will simply see what you are. And in that, it is abundantly clear what you are not. In fact, what you are comes to you through the route of seeing what you are not. You will never get liberation if you search for it. The very search is the bondage. In searching, you have assumed that you have lost it. Can you lose it? Don't you see the contradiction in your assumption? On one hand, you say you are thirsty for liberation. On one hand, you say nothing but liberation can bring you to contentment. On the other hand, you say, I have lost liberation. If you have lost liberation, how will you search for it? If you have lost liberation, what within you is now sending you towards liberation? It is only the free one within you who sends you towards freedom. What do you think? This question is being asked by the unfree one? No. This question is being asked by the free one through the unfree one. The words, the thoughts, the expressions may have limitations. Their freedom may be limited and compromised. But the one who is powering the inquiry, the one who will understand what I am saying, is already free. You have to be with her, you have to be surrendered to her. If you will remain in opposition to her, you will suffer. We all have this great love for the absolutely free. Do not resist that love. All your thoughts, instincts are crying for freedom. Even if they say that let us remain fettered, yet if you will listen attentively to them, you will find that they are pleading for freedom. Thought may say, no, slavery is better because slavery is comfortable, it offers conveniences and safety. But if you will go close to this thought, if you will see what this thought is actually trying to protect or get, you will again see freedom there. It is the greatest of miracles. What? Not that some people get liberation. That is no miracle at all. The miracle is how most of us manage to consistently believe that we are not liberated. I see God's hand there. Seriously. People say God is the one who liberates. I am saying without God's maneuvers, how would the essentially free beings that we are manage to believe in our slavery so consistently, so universally, and for so long? That is the miracle. God has already given you all that He could. God has given you the highest, the absolute, in that God has given Himself to you. Now what more can He give? You are saying, God, give me liberation. And God is saying, I am helpless. I have already given the highest to you. I have given myself to you. I am with you. I am in you. I am you. Now you are saying, give me more. Now how do I give you more? You are saying, no, but I want liberation. God is saying, what is that? What is that? Only bonded beings talk of liberation. When you find somebody talking of slavery, hold him no worse than the one who is consistently talking of rebellion, revolution and liberation. Both are deluded. You are free as you are. Now in your freedom, look at all your bondages. Now in your freedom, if you feel like, carry all your bondages. Then, in the middle of all your limitations and restrictions and bondages, you would still be free. The body would still be limited. The thought would still be limited. The eyes would still be able to look only up to a certain distance. The ears would still be able to hear only particular frequencies. But in the middle of all these limitations, you would still be absolutely free. I hope you are not misinterpreting. I am not asking you to rebel against slavery and cast away your chains. I am saying that you must remain free in the middle of your chains. Once you know that you are the unconditionally free one, then you retain neither an attraction nor an aversion to chains. Now you don't go about begging for more chains, as commoners do. Can we have a little bit of slavery, please? Looking for someone who can drive me like a slave. So one comes out in a matrimonial advertisement looking for a master. One is not attracted to slavery. And one is also not compulsively averse to slavery, because one knows that in the world of the material, in the world of the senses, in the world of the body, there are bound to be limitations. There are bound to be limitations. Now those limitations are a child's play. One does not take them seriously. One knows that one cannot move mountains with one small finger. But one now also knows that it is stupid to demand that. one also now knows what that mountain is and what this finger is. So this very thought, this idea that one is free only if he is able to act like a superhero, starts looking more and more infantile. Then one does not say that it is an expression of my freedom, that I must have exotic animals on my plate. Now one doesn't say that freedom is about being able to wear what one wants, to say what one wants, to live how one wants. Now one knows that all this business of wanting, all this business of individual expression is just anyway slavery. So how can it be taken seriously? You are free as you are. Discard all other assumptions that you have about yourself, even the most glorious assumptions. Even the highest image, the most beautiful image that you can have of yourself is bound to be an ugly image. You are infinite beyond conceptualization. You are beautiful beyond imagination. So even if you imagine yourself to be great, wonderful, you are still reducing yourself. Any idea that you have of yourself is bound to be a little idea. You can have no idea of who you truly are. When man says freedom, freedom is a dwarf. When man becomes silent, then freedom is the immense. Whatever you will say will have your touch, would have arisen from you. So it would be just as small as you. You would say love. It would be a tainted love. You would say truth. It would be a compromised truth. So don't say anything. Your freedom lies in your such deep sureness that you can relax in silence. When you are absolutely sure, then you need to prove no point, argue no more, and reach nowhere. Then you just relax. That relaxation is total freedom. That sureness is total freedom. That silence is total freedom. Influences upon you convinced you that you need liberation. And there are so many shops that are selling liberation. They are selling you something that you already have. They are selling you something that cannot be sold. They are selling you something that can never be obtained from outside. Anybody who ever tells you that he can help you be liberated cannot be your friend. He is either ignorant or mischievous. Either he does not know the F of freedom, or he does not know the F of freedom. The one who is free will never sell freedom to others. To sell freedom is to sell slavery. It happens. Since childhood, we have been fed with stories of the liberated ones. And we have been told how they went about obtaining their liberation. That is why you never questioned the fundamental assumption. All you asked was whether that achievement is instantaneous or gradual. The question was limited to these two options. You didn't ask whether there can be any achievement at all. No, there can be no achievement because you are already full. What more will you achieve? At most, you need to drop, not achieve. That which you name as spiritual attainment is actually about losing and dropping, not attaining. And what is to be dropped? This idea of liberation is to be dropped. Drop the search. Drop your fascination with liberation. You are already home. We are like lunatics who in their living rooms are clamoring and weeping and beating their chests, believing that they are lost in some jungle. They need to simply relax. They will find that they are already in the security and warmth of their ancient home. It is possible, is it not? To dream in a nightmare that you are somewhere on Jupiter. It is possible, is it not, to dream that you are falling from some 100-story building. Even as you lie comfortably on your bed, you can easily dream that you are falling, and it's such a tremendous fall. You would be shivering. Have you not experienced such nightmares? The search for liberation is one such nightmare. The liberated one is trying to be liberated. The relaxed one is experiencing a fall. Just wake up. Just wake up and stop believing in those stories and stop believing in those methods. Nobody ever got liberated. Enlightenment is the most fundamental myth. You are born enlightened. Then you are made to forget that you are enlightened. You are made to believe that you need enlightenment. You know, there is a story. You obviously want to hear the story, right? Because I want to narrate it. So there was this man, probably a Brahmin, who was passing through a jungle with his calf, the calf of a cow. And then there were some thugs, thieves, So the first one comes to the man, the Brahmin, and says, "Good morning, sir. You are passing through this place and you look fresh as ever." And the Brahmin says, "Of course, of course." He says, "And you look pure as ever." "Oh, of course, of course." "But why are you carrying this dog with you?" The Brahmin says, "Are you drunk right in the morning? You're calling this a dog? Don't you see? It's a calf of the sacred cow." The man says, "Sir, what are you talking? I respect you, but you're talking nonsense. And it is only in your interest that I am saying that you must not be seen with the dog. Dogs are considered impure. You must not be seen with the dog. What will others think if they see you like this?" The Brahmin says, You go away. You are certainly drunk and I don't want to listen to you." So he goes away. He goes some distance, half an hour maybe. Then another one of those thugs comes and greets the Brahmin. "Wonderful, sir. We have already covered half the journey. And so briskly you walk, and so fresh you look. And there is always the shine of divinity on your face. Moment I look at you, I am reminded of the sacred." The Brahmin says, "Of course, of course. It is my intelligence that shines through my face." So he says, "But why are you carrying this dog with you?" He says, "Did you call this a dog?" Of course, this is a dog. Don't you see how it wags its tail? Does it wag its tail? Of course it does. Are you drunk? Sir, I just called you intelligent. I just said that I see a sacred light on your face. Don't you see that I can see? Yeah, of course. Don't you see I praised you and I accepted when you said that it is intelligence that shines from you? Of course. If I can see all that correctly, can't I also see correctly that this is dog?" Now the Brahmin is a little confounded. Oh, of course. He praised me, so he could see the truth. If he could see the truth in my case, he must also be seeing the truth in this animal's case. But he says, one never knows whether the thing is a dog or a calf, and one has to be a little equanimous towards all animals. Anyway, we will talk later. Thank you so much. And he, somehow rescues himself and moves ahead. And then the third one comes. "Sir!" And the Brahmin now wants to totally avoid anybody. He starts looking the other way. He says, "Sir!" The Brahmin says, Yes, what do you want?" "So you look handsome." Brahmin says, "Oh yes, of course. So look at the tirelessness in your legs. You have covered the entire jungle. And still, you are not fatigued." "Oh, of course. But sir," and now Brahmin knows what is coming. He says, okay. "Why are you carrying this dog with you?" The Brahmin says, I had to get him treated. He was a little sick, so it is out of my compassion that I am bringing him along, and I am just taking him to show him to the vet, and then I'll just release him. And don't you worry, I'll actually go and take a dip in the holy Ganga to purify myself after I have served this animal. The scripture says that even if it's a corrupted thing, even if the fellow or the animal is not pure, yet you must have love towards all beings. So I'm just exhibiting my love. And he says, yes, that's true, but why don't you, let others serve this dog? You are a priest. You stand for piousness and sacredness. Why must you yourself be touching it, carrying it, and all those things? The Brahmin says, well, that is probably a good idea, but right now because I didn't find anybody, so I just thought I'll do the service myself. He says, no, that's not such a good idea. The Brahmin says, okay, fine, we'll meet later. I'm in a little bit of hurry, and he just escapes. And right when he's reaching the end of the jungle, another one comes. Sir! And the Brahmin says, this is not my dog at all. It has been chasing me through the jungle. Can you please take him away? I beg you, please take this dog away. He has given me hell. The fellow says, all right, if that's what you want, I'll take the dog away. And the dog is taken away. We are convinced that our innocence is gullibility. We are convinced by the thugs around us that our intelligence is stupidity. It is amusing when you hear somebody being convinced that the calf is a dog. But it is tragic when you see how we are convinced that we are in bondage. Since childhood, we have met only those who themselves have been duped by thugs, who themselves believe that they have lost their freedom. They were our parents, they were our teachers, they were our friends, and they have told us that we are unfree. And because so many of them have been consistently telling us, hence we have fallen prey to their propaganda. It is just propaganda. Even if 100 people say that the calf is a dog, the calf remains a calf. Even if all the scriptures of the world and all the gurus and all the family members and all the teachers and all the religions and the whole universe says that you are in chains, yet you remain free. Do not heed to them. Are you getting it? Maintain that sureness within, maintain that faith within. Remain proximate to the truth. Never allow yourself to be in suspicion. And even if you experience suspicion, remain certain in middle of the suspicion. Take this as the mantra. The calf is a calf.